Conor McGregor's story, glory, love, and legal battles. He was the king of the octagon, a man who turned trash talk into an art form and mixed martial arts into a global phenomenon. From jaw-dropping knockouts to luxury yachts and designer suits, his life has been as flashy as it has been fierce. But behind the glamour and the glory lies a darker side, a storm of controversies, courtroom dramas, and scandals that threaten to overshadow his incredible rise to fame. How did a young Irish plumber apprentice transform into a global superstar, only to find himself battling demons far beyond the cage? And what price has he paid for living life so close to the edge? Keep watching. You won't believe where this story takes us next. The humble beginnings and rise to fame. You wouldn't believe it, but Conor McGregor's story starts in the most unglamorous way possible, working as a plumber's apprentice in Dublin. Yep, before the flashy suits and luxury yachts, McGregor was fixing pipes and dreaming big. His father, Tony, wanted him to stick with the trade for a steady income, but young Conor had other ideas. He believed he was destined for greatness, not leaky sinks. Conor's obsession with fighting started when he trained in boxing as a teenager, but it wasn't until he met coach John Kavanagh, a pioneer of Irish MMA, that things really kicked off. Kavanagh took him under his wing at Straight Blast Gym, and together, they plotted Conor's path to glory. Fun fact, McGregor's first professional fight in 2008 earned him just €500. Compare that to the millions he rakes in now. Talk about a glow-up. Despite early struggles, including 2 losses in his first 6 fights, McGregor didn't quit. Instead, he switched gears, focused on becoming better, and started his infamous winning streak. By 2012, he became the first European MMA fighter to hold 2 titles in different weight classes under Cage Warriors. His brash confidence and knack for trash-talking opponents made him a fan favorite before he even set foot in the UFC. In 2013, Conor made his UFC debut in style, knocking out Marcus Brimage in just over a minute. And the UFC fans, they ate it up. His career skyrocketed when he faced Jose Aldo in 2015 for the featherweight title. The fight lasted just 13 seconds, still the fastest title fight finish in UFC history. Talk about making an impression. But McGregor wasn't done breaking records. He became the first fighter in UFC history to hold titles in 2 weight divisions simultaneously, cementing his place as a legend. And then, because being the king of MMA wasn't enough, he stepped in. Conor McGregor's rise is nothing short of a movie script. A kid from Dublin, with big dreams and an even bigger mouth, becomes a global sports icon. And honesty, isn't that the kind of underdog story we all secretly root for? The role of Dee Devlin and his journey. Behind every successful man, there's often a strong woman, and for Conor McGregor, that woman is Dee Devlin. She's been with him through thick and thin, from the early days when he was just a kid from Dublin with big dreams to becoming a global superstar. Dee wasn't just a girlfriend, she was his rock, his #1 supporter, and, let's be honest, his biggest fan. When Conor was still trying to make a name for himself in MMA, he was broke, like barely scraping by. While he trained in the gym, Dee worked hard to support them both, managing their finances and holding it all together. They even moved in together when Conor left home to chase his dreams. Talk about loyalty. At one point, they just had €200 to their name, but Dee believed in him when no one else did. As Conor's career took off, so did Dee's influence behind the scenes. She didn't just stand by him, she helped build his empire. She's played a huge role in managing McGregor's brand, making smart business moves like the proper No. 12 whiskey deal that brought them millions. Dee knew how to balance Conor's wild, flashy persona with the more grounded, business-savvy side of things. Let's face it, without Dee keeping things in check, who knows where Conor's crazy lifestyle would have taken him. She's not just his partner in life, but in business too, and together, they've become one of the most recognizable power couples in sports. It's clear that Dee Devlin is more than just a supportive partner. She's an essential part of Conor's success story, helping him navigate both the highs and lows of his roller coaster journey. And honestly, without her, it's hard to imagine how Conor would have pulled it all off. McGregor's peak and legacy in MMA. Conor McGregor's peak in MMA? It's hard to top. In 2016, he made history by becoming the first fighter in UFC history to hold titles in 2 different weight classes at the same time. He dominated both the featherweight and lightweight divisions, something no one had ever done before. But it wasn't just his victories in the ring that made him unforgettable. McGregor's larger-than-life personality, quick wit, and trash-talking turned him into a global icon. His success brought MMA into the mainstream, especially in Ireland, where the sport went from being relatively unknown to being on everyone's radar. And let's talk numbers. His fight with Jose Aldo in 2015 was the fastest finish in a UFC title fight, lasting just 13 seconds. That's the kind of thing that cements your legacy. McGregor didn't just break records, he created them. But as McGregor's fame grew, so did the controversies. From run-ins with the law to the infamous bus attack before UFC 223, his off-the-cuff antics started overshadowing his in-ring brilliance. Despite that, his impact on the sport is undeniable. He paved the way for future fighters, not just in terms of skills, but in how to market themselves and turn personality into profit. So, McGregor may be a complex figure, but there's no denying that he changed the landscape of MMA forever. Whether you love him or hate him, his legacy is here to stay. Personal controversies and the recent court ruling. Now, Conor McGregor's life outside the cage has been just as wild as fights inside it. We all remember the infamous 2018 bus attack when Conor threw a dolly, yes, a metal dolly, through the window of a bus containing Khabib, Nurmagomedov, and other fighters. The scene was straight out of a movie, but it had serious consequences. McGregor was arrested, charged, and his reputation started to shift from that of a fearless champ to a guy with some serious legal problems. Fast forward to today, and McGregor's troubles haven't slowed down. He recently faced a civil court ruling in a case brought by Nikita Hand, who accused McGregor of sexual assault at a Dublin hotel in 2018. The jury sided with Hand, awarding her nearly €250,000 in damages. McGregor, of course, has stated he plans to appeal the decision, but the fallout has already been huge. This ruling has led to a major commercial and public backlash. Brands that once loved the notorious image have distanced themselves. For example, Proximo Spirits, which owns McGregor's proper No. 12 whiskey, decided to drop his image from all future marketing. And in a symbolic move, the National Wax Museum in Dublin even took down his statue. Talk about a fall from grace. In Ireland, McGregor was once seen as a national hero, this brash, talented fighter who put the country on the global sports map. But after this recent controversy, public sentiment has shifted. It's hard to ignore the damage to his brand. His once stellar reputation is now marred by his off-field behavior, and many are questioning whether the man who once united Ireland behind him can ever regain that trust. So what's next for McGregor? Will he make a grand comeback, like the fighter we all once admired, or will his scandals continue to overshadow his legacy? With so much drama unfolding, only time will tell. One thing's for sure, his story is far from over, and it's got everyone talking. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon for more updates on McGregor's next chapter.